Good evening, Tallahassee. I'm student meteorologist Genevieve Rejock here with your Friday edition of FSU weather. Taking a live look at Doak Campbell Stadium, we have a beautiful sunset, pink and blue, cotton candy skies all the way. 66 degrees, winds coming in from the northeast at 6 miles per hour. Currently, we're looking at 66 degrees here in Tallahassee, an actual a little bit warmer down by the coast at Apalachicola. For our muggy meter, we have a very nice, not humid whatsoever here in Tallahassee, though the further you get down the peninsula, you are looking at a little more moisture in the air. Tonight in Tally, 50 degrees, partly cloudy, a little bit chilly for me, though you might want to hit the town. For tonight's headlines for the show, we have some cooler temperatures on the way. We're going to look at what happened for Thanksgiving in our history and what will be the forecast for Thanksgiving. All that and more on FSU Weather.
Thank you, Genevieve, for that overview of what's going to happen across the next few days as we head into Thanksgiving. But locally, we'll be having that warm-up as we come into really into the early part of this upcoming week. And then, of course, that cold front we'll be talking about, too, as we get just before Thanksgiving.
Yeah, I'm really excited for the cold front. It's been really warm this week. It's been getting hotter and hotter each day, but I'm really looking forward to Monday.
I mean, like, we've been in the 70s, but most of it really has just been like the more muggy 70s. And it certainly is a different feeling compared to like a drier 70 degrees. But I mean, we did have that cold front come by earlier today, which did drop the temperature and humidity just a bit. So
yeah, I'm really excited for those cold 30 temperatures that I've been looking for all year, and I can't wait to break out the winter jacket.
That's right. We do have the jacket alert coming up on Wednesday. We do potentially actually have some lows in the 30s, but so certainly need that jacket for there. But until then, we have that warm up as we go into really the beginning of the week, and then of course after Tuesday we'll have that front. And we'll toss things over to Genevieve.
Yes, thank you guys. I know we all want it to be jacket weather, but looking at the temperature almanac, we're straying a little bit far from that. We have a high of 73 degrees today and a low of 57, which not too far from our average. Thankfully, far from our low record of 22 degrees. I don't know what I'd be doing with that weather. Maybe it could snow. It could snow. Taking a live look at Doak Campbell Stadium here. Beautiful cotton candy skies all the way. Might want to get a picture if you can. 66 degrees, partly cloudy, and the winds are coming in just a little bit from the northeast, 6 miles per hour. Our current radar is showing absolutely nothing. We have just some ground clutter on the way, but no forms of precipitation. Currently, in the Big Bend region, the Tallahassee area, we have 66 degrees here in Tallahassee. A little bit cooler up in Donaldsonville, 60 degrees, though we do get a little bit more warmer towards the coast at 69 degrees. For our wind speed and direction, we have 5 miles per hour here in Tallahassee. Don't need a windbreaker much, don't need a poncho, though down by the coast, slightly more gusty at 8 miles per hour. For our dew points for the Tallahassee area, we have here in Tallahassee a 43 dew point. Donaldsonville, much drier, 35 degrees, as we see that cold front coming in, bringing in that dry air. For our future radar, basically not much, just clouds all the way, no precipitation. And that'll be it for our future radar. And we will be looking at tonight's forecast here in Tallahassee, 50 degrees, somewhat chilly. Apalachicola, a little bit warmer down by the coast, of course, at 54 degrees. And up in Bainbridge, 46, slightly chilly. Tonight in Tally, it'll be 50 degrees, partly cloudy, winds coming in at 6 miles per hour. For the beach forecast, the air and water will be similar temperatures, somewhat nice and warm. You might want to head out there for the surf, though, because it'll be at 3 feet high. And looking at the week ahead, we have pretty nice temperatures all the way through, pretty warm, though our lows will reach into next week, into the 30s. all the way through, and 30% chance of rain the day after Thanksgiving. And I'll be passing it off to Aaron.
Thank you, Genevieve. And as we zoom out to our national forecast, we kick things off here at the Friday edition of the FSU Show. You can see we actually have been fairly quiet across much of the nation. We do have storm systems really on either coast. You can see off the west coast, we do have our incoming area of low pressure. And then off to the east coast, that is our cold front that did bring us a little bit of a cool down yesterday across Tallahassee. But as you look at satellite and radar, you can see pretty much that's what I've been mentioning. You see the really quiet across much of the nation's heartland. We have a few clouds and perhaps a few showers, but nothing in terms of thunderstorm development. And then off towards the west coast, you can see that is actually our next storm that will come into the southeast as we move into the beginning part of next week. You can see some showers and some flurries up into the northern Rockies. But zooming in closer to the northwest, you can see those are those showers, scattered showers and snow flurries up in the mountains. So you can see up the mountains of the Idaho Panhandle and into Montana. You can see there is some showers and some snow flurries over there in the more of the higher elevations of those mountains. And then as we zoom closer into the nation's heartland, across the breadbasket of America, you can see a lot of cloud cover and some showers, but nothing, at least nothing in terms of thunderstorm development. And the SPC that really has no chance of any severe weather, so no need to worry there. And across in New England, you can see we do have a few snow flurries across upstate New York, even some lake effect snow off of Lake Erie. But really, it's nothing in terms of blizzards. But again, those also are warming as they move off to the east into the Atlantic, where we do see some scattered showers around Boston, up into Maine, Vermont, New Hampshire, and down to New York. And across Florida and the southeast, you can see we do actually still have a few showers along that cold front right here that is just making its way through about central and south Florida now. You can see most of it's really off like places like Daytona, Cape Canaveral, all the way down the coast towards Miami, where they are still seeing many showers, and even after some of the downpours they had even yesterday with some torrential rain and some flooding in some places in Miami. But luckily, the rain should move out as we get into tomorrow. And you can see also down by the Keys, actually may have a few thunderstorms down there too this evening. And the big picture across much of the nation, you can see that where that cold front really passed by, those cooler temperatures off to the east coast. And you can see we do have some 48 in Kansas City, 36 in Chicago, and then down towards our neck of the woods, we are sitting peacefully in the 60s. And then, of course, those showers down by Miami into the 70s. But across the west coast, you can see really San Francisco is sitting pretty at 60 degrees, 47 up in Salt Lake City. Our dew points are pretty dry across much of the nation, with the exception of Florida and the extreme southern portions of Texas, where you do see that green on the map. They are pretty much sitting in the 60s and 70s, which so very muggy for this time of year. But much of the nation really is sitting in the 20s, as again with those cold fronts coming through, tending to dry things off across much of the nation. Our watches and warnings, there actually are a few fire weather warnings over towards Colorado and Southern California. And then, of course, we do have a few, I think, blizzard warnings up towards Idaho and Montana. So if you are in those areas, you might need to watch out for some hazardous conditions. And our lows compared to average, you can see we are fairly warm across the nation's heartland, but off to the east coast, we do see a little bit of cooler than average temperatures in the Carolinas and the mid-Atlantic states, stretching all the way down into central central Georgia, I should say. And our drought monitor is showing pretty much dry conditions across much of the nation, with really, hopefully that at least not much rain letting up anytime soon. And tomorrow's highs across much of the nation will be into the 60s and 70s in the nation's heartland.
Thanks. So looking at Gainesville, you see that it's sunset. You see those high-level clouds, which provides a really, really pretty sunset. And with Blacksburg, Virginia, you see it's already sunset there, and you see all those lights coming from the urban life. And for Atlanta, Georgia, and you see it's also the sun's already down for them. And Kentucky, it's going to be 39 degrees with you see this beautiful sunset down below. Now looking at the satellite and radar, you see that it's going to be completely clear for most of the southeast, other than east coast of Florida, with parts of Miami still getting rain. They've been getting rain for the past couple days. And now looking more into the Georgia region, you see that it's still completely clear. And then now, what I was saying before with the Miami region, it's been getting the rain all the way down up to the East Coast. And looking at the current temperatures, it's 72 degrees in Tallahassee right now, and 67 in Montgomery, and chilly 59 degrees in Atlanta. And then you see those very warm temperatures down in Miami where they're getting rain right now, and 79 in Tampa. Looking at the wind speed and directions, you see Tallahassee is going to be getting 10 miles an hour winds. Calm in Nashville, which my sister lives there, so she'll love that. And it's going to be 10 mile an hour winds in Tampa, 15 mile an hour winds in Orlando. And dew points. It's going to be a very nice 43 degrees dew point, in Tallahassee, 29 in Montgomery, which is very, very dry. And you see those more muggy temperatures and muggy dew points, in Miami and in Orlando. And looking at that water vapor, you see the cold front bringing the dry air into the southeast region. Now looking at the future radar, you see mostly clear skies, but there's the front moving in that's going to bring all those cool temperatures that everyone will love to enjoy for the Thanksgiving weekend. Now looking at the Euro model forecast, it's going to be rain in Florida, like I've been saying, down in Miami, and then just the rain coming from the cold front. And tonight's lows, it's 47 in Tallahassee and 69 in Tampa, and Atlanta is going to be 37. Tomorrow's highs, it's going to be very nice, probably the same as today. And now I'm going to take it on to the next segment.
Thank you, Jason. As we come back closer to the Sunshine State, we are pretty divided with the cold front draping across the state today, bringing different conditions across North and South Florida. But first, we'll start over Panama City Beach. We do have a very beautiful sunset, or actually just past sunset, like over the bridge in the bay over there, over towards St. Andrews Bay in Panama City Beach. So very beautiful skies over there. And across the state, you can see we do have those persistent showers across the east coast of Florida. But as we zoom in closer to the Panhandle, Florida, you can see skies are pretty clear as that cold front has already made its way pretty far south of the area. So no precipitation on radar at all. Maybe some ground clutter, but nothing much there. And then across north central Florida, you can see there are some showers moving in from the east coast to places like Daytona, Orlando, down towards down the coast, really over towards places like Polk County in central Florida, where you might see a chance of a scattered shower or two, perhaps. Really, again, this is where the cold front is lined up along the I-4 corridor. And across South Florida, again, those showers really persist all the way down the coast to about really the Keys. Miami still being soaked with rain. Really since yesterday. I mean, I've seen reports too of some street flooding down there, and certainly looks like hopefully into tomorrow, once you get that cold front to push through, things will let up there. Current temperatures across the state, you can see we are pretty much sitting in the low 70s really across much of North Florida, and then down towards Central Florida, we are pretty much sticking into the 70s and 80s, and then down towards South Florida, we are seeing really, again, those showers, which actually might have a little bit of a cool down effect there, but they're still sitting muggy in the mid-70s. And our muggy meter across the state pretty much tells a story. You can see across North Florida, the I-10 corridor, sitting pretty happy. We see those happy smile faces up there. But it's really until you get down towards Central Florida, the I-4 corridor south, where you start seeing those faces starting not to be as happy and joyful, as we do have that humid weather still just south of the cold front. In our future radar across the state, you can see those clouds and rain persisting across South Florida, and really through this weekend, maybe into, might see a break coming in maybe into later in the week, but again, those showers will then continue as we do begin the warm up ahead of next week's cold front. Tonight across Florida, again, we have that cold front, which is pretty much splitting right along the I-4 corridor. You can see Tampa sitting in the upper 60s, same story with Orlando, then 70s south of there. But north of the cold front, you can see 59 in Gainesville, 54 in Tallahassee. And Pensacola, you can see we're sitting pretty at 57 degrees. Tomorrow's highs, you can see we're sticking into the 70s across much of the state, although we might touch 80 as we get into places like Fort Myers and down south. Miami, we are sitting in the 70s and 80s as we set our way up to this upcoming weekend. Into Tampa, you can see 70s and really 70s really across the board. To Jacksonville, same story. We'll be sitting in the 60s and 70s across much of the Jacksonville area.
Yes, thank you so much, Aaron, for that beautiful look at Florida. Now going for a little bit more of a history side, we're going to be taking a look at what happened today, actually not today, for Thanksgiving in history. In 1998, we'll start off, there was an infamous storm happening in Portland, Oregon. That storm actually killed 200 people and 140 ships were lost at sea, so definitely a devastating day. That happened off the coast of Cape Cod, and 30 hours, so over a day of wind gusts at 100 miles per hour. What else happened, Jason?
So then looking in 1992, New England had one of their worst ice storms.
That is true. Also, on Thanksgiving Day, there was a tornado outbreak in Arkansas and Louisiana.
Wow. So now within 1950, it's going to be the Great Appalachian Storm, which affected 22 states. It had significant winds, rain, blizzard conditions, 160 mile-an-hour winds, and 353 people died. Wow.
And then into 1982, a little bit later, we had a hurricane hitting Hawaii. 1988, there was a historic tornado happening in North Carolina.
And then the dozens of tornadoes in the Gulf Coast in 1992.
And in 2010, there was a U.S. outbreak in the Deep South.
Wow. And there was a bomb cyclone in the West Coast. But now we're going to send it on to the next segment with Aaron.
Thank you for that Thanksgiving recap and history overlook, Evan and Genevieve. Really nice to see some of the history there on Thanksgiving Day. But closer to home, you can see today we hit a high of 73 degrees. But we did rise from a low of 57 as we did have that cold front coming through, or that did come through, I should say, last night. So it is certainly more comfortable than it has been for the past few days. So really, we're not that far off from our average, at least for the high temperature. But our low temperature is sitting a little bit warmer than average into the upper 50s today. But again, tonight, after that cold front, that will bring things a little bit closer to where it should be this time for this time of year. And again, we're not sitting in the mid 80s as we were back in 1985 or in 2014. Down below freezing there. A live look at Doak Campbell Stadium shows a very pleasant evening tonight. If you are strolling around Tallahassee, you can see 66 degrees is the current temperature right now at Doak Campbell Stadium under partly cloudy skies. And we had a beautiful sunset here just a minute ago, but conditions are still pretty nice regardless of that. And we do have a nice wind out of the northeast at 5 miles per hour. Our current radar pretty much shows really not much to speak of. We have a little bit of ground clutter over the Tallahassee radar, but again, looking at the skies, it was very clear, so nothing in the way of rain there. And hour by hour, you can see that warm-up I was mentioning. You can see from the low to mid 50s, or sorry, I should say mid to upper 50s, up as we climbed by about noon, we got to about 66, and then we reached our high temperature of into the low 70s by about 3 or 4 o'clock. Our current local temperatures right now really sitting in the low to mid 60s, I should say, across Florida. It's not really until you get towards southwest Georgia where you might see some 50s on the map. And the Muggy meter today, you can see pretty much shows those happy faces across the I-10 corridor. And as we work our way down the I-95 and I-75 corridors down towards central and south Florida, you can see we do begin to see some more humid conditions there. Tonight's forecast, we will be in the 50s or 40s and 50s, I should say, especially as you work your way up from the coastline. You might see more better chance of seeing those 40s tonight. But certainly a cool night out there. Our future radar pretty much shows a clear sky across much of the Florida Big Bend region. And as we do go to the week ahead, you can see we are going to be sitting in the 40, or in the 70s, I should say, until that cold front on Monday.
Yes, thank you so much, Aaron, for that beautiful local look. Now, going into a live look at Doak Campbell Stadium, we have 66 degrees here, partly cloudy, winds coming in at northeast 5 miles per hour. Sports. Talk about Thanksgiving. Something that brings us all together is definitely sports, or separates us, depending on your family. But women's volleyball, we have FSU versus UM at 6:30 tonight. That will be inside, of course, but for your walk to Tully Gym, it will be in the 60s. Might want to bring a jacket. For our satellite and radar, no precipitation going on, though you might want to bring a jacket, like I said, but you definitely will not be needing an umbrella tonight. For football this Saturday at noon, that will be at Boston College up north, but here in Tallahassee, in case you guys want to tailgate, do whatever you want, celebrating the game, it will be 44 degrees at noon, pretty chilly in my mind. For our FSU's swimming and diving, this will be versus Georgia Tech at 2 p.m. Of course, also inside, but it will be 56 degrees at the time that the game starts and will increase into 57 degrees as the night progresses. For our cross-country team, we have both the women's and men's starting at 7 a.m., 47 degrees. So I know you'll be wearing your jerseys, your uniforms, but it might get a little chilly on the way there. It will get warmer as the day progresses to 68 degrees. For FSU women's basketball versus Grumbling State at 2 p.m. on Sunday, also inside, but it'll be 71 degrees. Beautiful, beautiful temperatures. Clouds in the sky in the Tallahassee area, no precipitation going on, and just a beautiful night to get out. Absolutely beautiful. Now passing it on to Jason.
Thanks, Genevieve. So looking at the FSU weather STEM camera, which I love, it's right above on the parking garage. You see the Doak Campbell Stadium lit up in the night sky. And looking at the current radar, it's just ground cover, and it's going to be just clear sky tonight. And looking at the date-night forecast, it's going to be 47 degrees, partly cloudy, and winds are going to be of 6 miles an hour. And stargazing forecast is going to be fair, because you see those high-level clouds, it's going to be 100% full moon. We recently had a lunar eclipse earlier yesterday. I mean, it was really, really pretty. I saw those pictures on Twitter, but we didn't see much here. Looking at the dog walk forecast, there's a very good boy right there. It's going to be 48 degrees at 7 a.m. and 9 a.m. is going to be 52 degrees. And 11 a.m., which would probably be around a good time to take out your dog, it's going to be 61. The women's volleyball team is going to be playing in FSU. It's going to be 64 at 6 o'clock tonight. And then this is going to be at 7 o'clock, it's going to be 62, and at 8 p.m., it's going to be 60. And then the future radar, you see those clouds completely disappear. It's going to be a nice clear day, most likely tomorrow. And now looking at the weekend planner, it's going to be Saturday, it's going to be 70, and then Sunday it's going to be 74, and Monday it's going to be 68. And now I'm going to put it on to the next segment.
Yes, thank you so much, Jason, for that beautiful weekend forecast. And now we'll be looking at our spicy Thanksgiving forecast. Looking a little bit nationally, we have some clouds throughout the whole United States, just some storms going on in the Pacific Northwest, as well down in my hometown of Miami, but overall, nothing too dramatic happening across the country. For our airport delays, because I know a lot of us, including myself, will be traveling, going to the Tallahassee airport, we'll be looking at no delays because it'll be sunny and beautiful, 66 degrees tonight. Overall, you're looking at some pretty clear temperatures for flying. I would say if you're going to New York, if you're going to JFK, 44 degrees is a little bit chilly. Might want to bring a light winter coat or layer up somewhat. In the future radar, we have those clouds moving across the country. We have some storms going on somewhat north, going into Montana and that region, but overall, nothing too dramatic. For our model comparison, so because we don't know exactly what the temperatures will be like for Thanksgiving, it is slightly far out. We do have some projected models showing us. Here we have the American model showing a high of 72, a low of 44. European model showing similar temperatures, somewhat chillier, and the National Weather Service showing a little bit cooler, a low of 43 degrees, somewhat chilly. For the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade, I know a lot of people treat this like religion, could be my family, but 46 degrees, partly sunny, it'll be 10 miles per hour, so slightly gusty for those turkeys and those Elmos and all of those floats that come by. For a little taste of Thanksgiving here, I will not be personally eating turkey. I am vegan, but 70 degrees, mostly sunny, and the winds are calm. For our Panama City beach forecast, we have a slight surf of 3 feet in the ocean. The air and the water will be quite similar in temperatures, so feel free to get out with the family and watch a nice sunset. Stargazing forecast, fair conditions because of those clouds coming. It might not be the best conditions to see that waning gibbous. For your Thanksgiving campfire, during the night, 41 degrees. And for your Thanksgiving week planner, we have some beautiful temperatures, 30 degrees that day after Thanksgiving. Now, moving on to Jason.
Thanks, Genevieve. So the current local temperatures right now, it's going to be 62 in Tallahassee, going to be 56 in Thomasville, and it's going to be 63 in St. Mark's. And tonight's forecast, it's going to be 50 degrees right now in Tallahassee, and it's going to be 52 in St. Mark's, and going to be 49 in Madison. The airport delays shouldn't be much because there's not much going on right now. It's going to be green, so it's a good time to travel anywhere because it's all green. And it's going to be, hopefully you guys make it safe to all your Thanksgiving plans this weekend. And now looking more at the Thanksgiving planner, it's going to be 70 on Thursday. For Thanksgiving, it's going to be 73 degrees here. Low of 42, so it's going to be pretty chilly. And on Friday, you're going to see the rain coming in. It's going to be 73 with a low of 48. Now, looking at the satellite and radar, it's going to, you see all these storms over to the west, but we won't really get much here. And right now, it's pretty clear for the southeast. And tomorrow's highs are going to be pretty around the same for the cold front's going to be coming through. And now I'm going to send it onto the desk to close out the show.
Thank you, Jason. Really, as we're gearing up for Thanksgiving here coming up in less than a week now, really we're expecting that at least that warm up here in Tallahassee locally until that cold front. So what do you say to that?
I would say some beautiful temperatures. Personally, as a native Floridian, I like it to be slightly more warmer, and that looks like what we're getting for Thanksgiving. A high of in the 70s and lower into the 40s, though that might be a little chilly for me, but during the day it seems pretty nice.
I mean, for at least average temperature-wise, I mean, we were sitting pretty on Thanksgiving Day. So when you do get out that turkey or other options, really it'll be nice in the 70s locally across the area. But
of course, follow us on Twitter at FSU Weather.
And like us on Facebook at facebook.com/FSU Weather.
And of course, hopefully you're watching us live on YouTube at youtube.com/FSU Weather.
And if you haven't yet, don't forget to follow us on Instagram at FSU Weather.
We really hope you have a great Thanksgiving. All of us work so hard to provide you with a wonderful forecast, and we really hope that you take that weather into consideration and you really enjoy your Thanksgiving.
And from all of us at FSU Weather, happy Thanksgiving.